I joined IUIC to change the world. I was never really religious. I know I was in like Roman Catholicism when I was young, but that was just because of what my parents brought me to. I never really was Catholic mentally. I never really was religious, nor did I read the Bible. I always believed in a higher power, but what drew me to IUIC was the need to change the world. And I mean that literally. I was always interested in the history of the oppression of Puerto Ricans, Latinos, history. And I always noticed that wherever Latinos were, blacks were. Whether it was poverty, whether it was the hood, the lifestyle, we grew up together. And I know it's different in New York State, right? New York State is different than like the South or the West Coast where there's beef between the tribes. But in New York, Northern Kingdom and Judah, we kind of coexist together in the same areas, talk the same, dress the same, act the same. So I was always immersed with, the history of so-called Puerto Ricans. Parallel to that, immersed with the oppression of so-called blacks, Judah, right? So from the time when I was young, I wanted to be a revolutionary. I wanted to change, like I said, literally the world. And I thought that this was the best way to change the world when I first heard the word of God. Like I said, I was never religious, but the way that these men were ordered, the way that these men were trying to change people's lives, stop drug use, stop prostitution, making sure family structure was built, making sure that kids had their both parents in the house, making sure we didn't rely on the system, making sure we separate. I mean, this is just to name a few things. This is revolutionary. I've never seen our people live like this, nor aspire to be anything like this. So when I was young, I saw that and I wanted to make sure I joined that. That was the biggest thing I took away from the first classes. And then when I saw that the Bible was involved and that the reason we were in this situation in the first place was because our disobedience to God, that's what unlocked it for me spiritually, right? To say, hey, this is exactly what we need to do to get back on the good side with God, to get back in it and reconcile with God, like it says in the scriptures. And that was the reason why I joined IUIC, to change the world with the word of God.